Welcome to the Galaxy Man Show. I am here with. I'll let you introduce yourself and explain a bit of what you do.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jake. My name's Mark Furs. I'm a singer. I'm a musician. Currently on that show, The Voice. Done a bit of acting in my time as well.
Awesome. So we'll dive right into the questions, Mark. So for my first question, what's the experience like being on The Voice for 2020 this year?
Yeah, it's funny thinking about that, like, because I watched last year and I've seen the show and I know the experience of what it's like to watch the show. But then when you're on the show, man, it's quite huge when you're there. The studio is massive. The band is incredible and sounds just so good, and the lighting show is crazy, and the energy of the whole thing is it's a really big experience when you're there. So you see these people getting overwhelmed on the TV, and they cry in their interviews, and they get really nervous up on stage, and you're sitting at home in your lounge room and you're like, come on, get on with it. But then when you're actually there, you kind of realize, wow, this is very heightened. It's a big experience. I've loved it. It's been really wonderful.
I have to say, by the way, I loved your audition. Your audition was incredible, and you smashed it in your audition. Speaking about the auditions, when the judges turned for you, what was it like when the judges turned? And were you wanting to go with Kelly in the first place, or because you and Guy are friends and stuff? Like, did you expect to go with Kelly or Guy instead?
Yeah, so the thanks, by the way. I'm glad you enjoyed it, brother. It was I had a lot of fun too. It was a really great experience getting up there. I was so nervous. I don't remember being that nervous in my life. It was just intense. But it was, as soon as I started singing, I was good. I was kind of good. I got that first note out and I was like, okay, cool. Now I can just relax and enjoy the rest. And I kind of don't remember as it was happening, like I was just doing it, and then there's people facing me, and it was loud, and then it all ended, and I was like, oh, okay, back to reality again. It's time to talk to people. So it all came out the way I wanted it to, pretty much. So I'm really pleased that you enjoyed it and other people enjoyed it. And yeah, as far as the which coach to go with, it's I was honestly happy with it, with anyone. I was so nervous that no one was going to turn. And the fact that they all turned was genuinely something I wasn't really prepared for. I would have liked to go on Guy's team because we're friends, but then again, I thought about it and I kind of played it out and thought, look, if I do go on his team, then it's going to be weird. It's going to be people I understand that there's like a conflict of interest and people might think, oh, it's not fair. And it's not fair to him. And I kind of was like, look, if I do well on this show, if I do well on the show at all, I want it to be because of my singing, not because of the fact that I'm friends with one of the coaches. So I just I didn't go with him because I just, wanted to eliminate that and just keep it about my singing and not anything else. So, yeah, that was why I went with Kelly. Plus, Kelly's great. I've got nothing against Kelly. She's awesome, man. So, yeah.
Awesome. So for my next question, if you could be the winner of the Voice for 2020 this year, what would you want out of your music?
Yeah, I think what I really want to do, and it's a weird time to be talking about this because there's no gigs going on, but for me, I just want to play. I want to play shows to people who want to hear the music. I want to write songs. I want to get my band on the road. I want people to enjoy the music that I'm making, and if I can play to a room full of people that want to be there and hear the songs, then I'm winning, man. That's really it. Like I've done quite a bit of live music in my time and toured with a couple of bands and it's a really fun experience. So if I can get back into that, and especially when you have people in the crowd that are actually singing your own music back to you, it's wonderful. It's a really great connection with way to connect with strangers and make them feel something. And yeah, so that's what I'm after, dude.
Awesome. So for my next question, there's actually a rumor out there. It's home and away related. And supposedly there's a spin-off in the works, and you could be one of the familiar faces could be returning for this spin-off. Is that true or false in your opinion?
Look, dude, you know more than I do. I hadn't heard anything about that. To be honest, I'm not really very in the loop.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that I know nothing about that. Maybe it'll happen. That sounds kind of cool. You know, I was thinking back about my time on Home and Away and getting paid to be up at Palm Beach and work in such a beautiful place. And I made a lot of really great friends on that show, and the experience was wonderful. I was pretty young. I was straight out of high school, so I didn't really know what I was doing, but. Yeah, it's. I wonder how a spin-off would go. It'd probably be pretty good. Yeah, never say never, you know. But I don't know anything about it.
Okay, awesome. Just wanted to clear the air.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for my next question, who would be your top 3 music artists that you would want to work with?
Good one. So I really love Tom Morello, the guitarist from Rage Against the Machine and Audio Slave. His riffage is some of the best riffage, you know. I really love his style and his groove and his guitar tone, and yeah, I'd love to write some songs with Tom Morello. That'd be great. Who else have we got? I dig Dave Grohl. Dave Grohl's he's got some pretty cool stuff, you know. I mean, he's been doing it a while too. He knows what he's doing. That'd be fun. I think it'd be fun to just hang out with Dave Grohl as well. I think he seems like a bit of a larrikin, so that'd be cool. And then maybe someone like David Coverdale from Whitesnake, the singer. Like he's pretty ancient these days, and he's seen a lot. Like he was in Deep Purple way back, and Whitesnake's still going, and he's still hitting those notes that he was back when he was 20. And I really learned a lot about singing from listening to him and kind of trying to emulate his style and that sort of thing. So I'd love to pick his brain and just hang with him. So yeah, that'd be. So who we got? Dave Grohl, Tom Morello, and David Coverdale. It's an interesting dinner party.
Awesome. So for my last question, Mark, who inspired you to get into acting, and what advice would you give someone who wants to get into the musical acting industry? And lastly, what are the positives and negatives into the acting industry, and how do you get through those negatives?
Yeah, okay. So my old man is probably the one who inspired me to get into the industry. He was a dentist. He's retired now, but he every year, I grew up in central west New South Wales, a town called Orange, and every year he would do one of the Orange Theatre Company's productions, so musical theatre. And I would, go and watch him when I was a kid. And then the time came along for the next one they were doing was Oliver, and I was 10 at the time. And Dad asked me, he said, why don't you audition for the show as well? Because I'm going to. So I thought, okay. So I auditioned and got the part of Oliver. So it turned out, that's when I found out, maybe I can sing. And I enjoyed watching my dad act and sing. And he got the part as well. So we were in that show together. And ever since then, I'd been in all the school plays in high school and in primary school as well, and singing and acting. I can't dance, but unless I have a few too many drinks, but then you don't want to see it anyway. So yeah, singing and acting, and that's I guess where it all started. And the other question was what advice would I have? So the pros and cons are, it's when you're doing it, like when I'm in an acting job or when I'm playing a show or doing, writing some songs and that kind of thing, it's just the best thing in the world. If that's what your heart desires, it's wonderful. You get to affect people, you get to connect with people, and it's really fulfilling in that sense. It's not a job. It doesn't feel it in any way like a job. Like I've had a few crappy jobs in my time, but doesn't feel like that. It's a lot of fun. But on the flip side, it can be a really tough industry. You just don't get to do it as much as you would like to be doing it. That's the reality of especially being an actor. The funny thing is, that's kind of why I make so much music. One, because it's something that I would be doing anyway, and I love doing it. But the other thing is, there's also a lot of downtime between acting. Sometimes it's years between jobs that I get. So I'm just making music, working on my production and writing and recording and rehearsing with the band if I have one at the time. And I would be doing that anyway, but pursuing the acting thing is something I haven't given up. So yeah, there just happens to be a whole lot of downtime. So I guess that's the downside is, when you're working, you get paid all this money and you get to play dress ups and do all kinds of fun stuff like that. Just the same thing when you're involved in a show, like a singing show. It's all lights and glamour and it's great fun, but there's just no steady. It's real hard to get steady work, So yeah, I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, it answered it. Amazing. So can I just say, lastly, I actually watched this incredible show that you were in. I think you were like about 5 or 6 years old in it, called Outriders. And what was it like being on that?
Dude, it's funny. I was 14 on that. I was I was a late bloomer. I was, but yeah, that was the first. That's hilarious that you saw that, dude. Not many people remember that. That was the first kind of TV thing, anything outside of theatre that I ever got. So I'd been doing primary school plays, and someone came to Orange and saw the play, and their daughter was a casting director, and she invited me and another girl from the play to go and audition for this TV show that her daughter was casting. Said, I saw these kids in this play and I think they've got potential. Do you want to cast them? So we went and auditioned, and they liked me, and I managed to get, they gave me the role for this TV show, which turned out to be Outriders. But I didn't have an agent. I'd never done an audition. I didn't know what I was doing. I was 13 years old. So that was the very first thing I did. And then I got an agent from that. And then that's how the ball got rolling, with the whole entertainment industry. And I'm still got the same agent, and yeah, still doing the same thing, man, trying to get that thing happening. But yeah, that Outriders, that was a trip, dude. That was funny, that show.
Well, can I just say thank you so much, Mark, for appearing on my show. It really means a lot. Everyone definitely go support Mark on The Voice Australia. You can check out the battles this tonight on Sunday, 7 o'clock, Channel 9. Yeah, as I said again, thank you so much, Mark. It means so much. And
my pleasure, man. Thanks for having me. It's been great.
Good.
Feeling like a bullet, jumping out of gun. I feel like a winner. Hey, I feel like the one. You're doing something to me. You're doing something strange. Jump back, talk to me, woman. You made me wanna make a baby, baby. Come in, baby. Come in for you, yeah. Loaded, shoot my shot tonight. Come in, baby. Got it for you. Pull my trigger, let me blow your mind. Supernatural woman, a supernatural freak. Hey. Hot damn, popping like a pistol, mama. You got me down.